Hello students, I'm Monisha. So, today we are going to discuss about conservation of animals. Before that, let me stop here and let's recall what we learned in the previous video. In the previous video, we learned about can you guess? Yes, we learned about endangered species and we also learned about what are the causes of the endangerment. And we also learned the remedies and how to save the endangered species. Students, we also discussed about a very important topic, that is about a book that we learned there and how the book is maintained for recording a rare and endangered species. So, based on the color of the book, there are different types of books that are black color, red color, white and green. So, according to the book types, they are being segregated for different informations. For example, a black book gives you the confirmation of existing or extinct species. Red books gives endangered species. White books gives rare species. So that is what we have learned in the previous class. So in this video, we will be discussing about the animals. Okay, students, when we talk about biodiversity, it is the term that is used for, can anyone guess? Yes, it is used to describe different plants, animals, microorganisms, and insects. So, that are found in earth. Okay, so the conservation of the biodiversity helps us to do what? Yes, obviously, it helps us to protect, maintain, and recover the endangered animals and plant species. So, students, the conservation is like a part of protecting, preservation, and management of wildlife and natural resources. So, that is what, as a human being, we are doing. Endangered species are maintained in different protected areas. So, how can we conserve these animals? Yes, students, we are going to protect these animals based on two types. One is we are going to protect them by national parks, and another one is wildlife sanctuaries. That is what we are going to discuss in today's video. In today's video, we are going to learn about two main things. One is the national parks, that is how we are going to protect the animals, and another one is wildlife sanctuaries. When I talk about national parks, can you guess any park that pops into your mind? Yes, you might have heard different types of park. One is Periyar National Park and Gindi National Park. So these are the national park that pops into your mind. And in this unit, we will be discussing about all the national parks and wildlife sanctuaries in India. Okay, students, now let me tell you the difference between a national park and a wildlife sanctuary. A national park is an area which is strictly reserved for the betterment of the wild animals. So that is called as national park. Okay, in these areas, the activities like forestry, grazing, or cultivation is not permitted here. And even private ownership rights are not allowed in these areas. So it will be like around an area of 100 to 500 square kilometers where the people are very restricted to enter here. Okay, so some kind of activities like you cannot go and farm or you cannot go or cultivate them, whereas it is different from wildlife sanctuaries. But when you talk about wildlife sanctuaries, it is a protected area like national parks, but you have the conservation for animals only. You will be conserving only animals, but you have some things over there like harvesting of timber, collection of forest products, and private ownership rights are allowed here, but it is not allowed in national parks. So these are the two different things that you can differentiate. For examples, tourists are allowed only in wildlife national sanctuaries. Okay, so there you can go and watch the animals, but not on national parks. Some national parks you can just get a permit to go interior or the first sector there and visit, but you cannot get into the interior of the forest areas. Okay, so now let us discuss the different types of parks national parks that is in India. The first park that I would like to talk with you is Jim Corbett National Park. It is located in Nainital and it is in Uttarakhand. So that is where this park is situated here. Okay, students, the one thing you should know that is, the first thing when I talk about national park, you have to know where it is located, and the second thing you have to know is what kind of animals are protected there. Okay, so these are the two things you should know from the national park: the name of the national park, second you have to know about the where it is located, and third what kind of animals are conserved there. Okay, shall we get into it? Okay, so in Jim Corbett National Park, where it is located? It is located in Uttarakhand, and you can see tiger is found in this park. So tigers are been protected there mostly. You can also see some other animals and species like deer, leopards, jackal, red foxes, black bear, sloth bear, and monkeys too. So these are the several animals that are conserved there, but tiger is the main animal which is conserved there. Okay, so the next one is Gir Forest National Park. It is located in Gujarat, and the animal here, yes, it is an Asiatic lions that we have discussed in the previous class, endangered species. We have discussed, no, this lion is very in an a part that is in a part of an extinct, so we have to conserve them. Okay, so this actually the natural habitat is for them. Okay, so the other animals also you can find like sambar, chinkara, chital, porcupine, wild boar, and black buck. Okay, so these are the other animals that you can find in this Gujarat. That is the place where it is located, and the park name is Gir Forest National Park. Okay, so the next park we are going to discuss is, let me get into it. Yes, this is Khariranga National Park. Okay, here the wild animals like rhinoceros, tiger, elephant, and wild buffalo and swamp deers are seen here. So these animals are there. In this park also you can also see bears, leopards, and several species. Okay, so those are migrated here. So this is where Khariranga National Park is. These are the animals that Khariranga National Park has. Okay, so, and one of the important thing that I wanted to tell you is this has been authorized by the UNESCO. UNESCO is nothing but it is an United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organization. It is where they kind of preserve the sites. You cannot just go inside of it. So these are the this is United Nations, in the sense all over the world has been in contract with this nation. Okay, UNESCO. So this they has also declared this Khariranga National Park as a World Heritage Site. Okay, this is the important thing you have to know about Khariranga National Park. And next we are going to discuss about Sundarban National Park. It is located in the West Bengal, and the Sundarbans are mostly, you can see, is a tiger. Okay, so tiger, and they are in the they are like in the river banks, like Ganges Delta river biosphere of reservoir. So they have lots and lots of water there for them. And Bengal tiger, saltwater crocodile, wild boar, and foxes, leopard cats, huge turtles, and Ganges river dolphins, and several other varieties of mammals and reptiles are there. Okay, so mostly you can see there are many birds that can there are huge flocks of birds that migrates there, and that also you can see there. Okay, so the next park that we are going to discuss is, yes, let's get into it. That is Khana National Park. Students, so shall we stop here and shall we recap what are the parks that we have learned? Yes, in the previous one we have learned, yeah, let me go into it. In the previous one we learned about Jim Corbett National Park, and next one is Gir Forest National Park, and the another one is Yes, Kaziranga National Park, and it is a very important national park where it has been authorized by the UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. Okay, then the Sundarban National Park. So this is what we have discussed till now. Now let us move on to the fifth park, that is Khana National Park. In this park, it is located in Madhya Pradesh, and it is very suitable part of a Project Tiger. See, can you see? Mostly you can see tigers are in major national parks. Have we gone through all the national parks? Majorly, they are trying to conserve that tiger here. Yes, students, tiger is one of the animals that can see in India mostly. So that is how our government as well as other private sectors are trying to preserve that. Okay, as a part for from a tiger, apart from this tiger, animals such as elephants, jackals, leopards, striped hyenas, monkeys, and several varieties of deers includes black buck, swamp deer, chital, and sabhar are seen here. So these are the animals apart from tiger you can see in Khana National Park, which is located in, yes, Madhya Pradesh. Now let us move on to Periyar National Park. It is in Thekadi, Kerala. Most of you might have heard this. When you see the word Thekadi, you might have heard along with that Munnar also. Yes, students, when you were traveling to some hill station, you might have gone to Thekadi, that is near Kerala. That is in Kerala. Various species like including majestic elephants, royal tigers, fishes, reptiles, and birds are seen here. See, I have went to Thekadi and I've seen this beautiful sight there. You can always see this wonderful elephants there. So they are the majestic of animal kingdom. So this is what it is in Periyar National Park, and it is located in Kerala. Now let us move on to the next one, Gindi. Students, I know that most of you have visited this Gindi, and can you tell me what is the most thing that you find fascinating there? Yes, they are. You will have reptiles there, and you can see, mostly you can see, yes, crocodiles there. This park is located at the heart of the Chennai city, and it is spotted with some deers, black buck, white buck, river otters, and also some bonnet monkeys, chewed cats, jackal, pangolin, and hedgehog, and some common mongoose also you can see in there. Okay, so these are the parks where it is located according to it. So apart from this, I'll tell you a few more national parks that is very important and which is near to us. One of them is the Gulf of Munnar National Park, that is in Ramanathapuram, and Indira Gandhi National Park, it is in Coimbatore, Mudumalai National Park, the Nilgiris, and Cruelty National Park, it is also in Nilgiris. So these are the national parks apart from the national parks that we have discussed. So eight national parks that we have discussed here. And you also know what is the national park. Can you tell anyone? Yes, a national park is a strictly reserved area for the betterment of wild animals. Yes, wildlife. When I talk about wildlife, it doesn't include only animals. It includes also some plants too. Okay, so that is what we have discussed in national park. Now let us move on to wildlife sanctuaries. Wildlife sanctuaries, as I told you, it is a protected area which is reserved for the conservation of animals only. Okay, so harvesting of timber and collection of forest products. See, when I talk about forest products, what are the forest products? You can get wood from them, and you can get honey there, and some other private ownerships also. They can own the land there, and most importantly, tourists can visit these places. Okay, so shall we discuss the first wildlife sanctuary here? The first wildlife sanctuary we are going to discuss here is Kalakan Wildlife Sanctuary, which is famous for tigers, and you can also see line-tailed macaw, Nilgiri lugar, bonnet macaw, langur, Nilgiri thar, sambar, sloth bear, gur, elephant, flying squirrel, panther, wild dog, and pangolins are some of the other animals that you can find there. Okay, students. So, see, students, as I'm discussing about all this wildlife sanctuary and national park, I want you to hear to this hidden question. The hidden question is, what are the other, apart from this, what are the other like private sector that are trying to preserve these animals? I want any two of them. Okay, so that is your hidden question. So now let us move to the next wildlife sanctuary, Mudumalai Wildlife Sanctuary. This you might have seen often, but it is not for everyone. You cannot get into it. It is located in Ooty. There you can see Bengal tigers, giant elephants, leopards are found there. Elephant safari is famous in this sanctuary. You can always see elephant safari. You can just, as you know, elephant safari is where you travel on the back of the elephant. Okay, so that you can go and visit there. So it is in Mudumalai. Okay. Next one we are going to discuss is Mundandari Wildlife Sanctuary. It is located in Tirunelveli district. Students, in this part, no, this Mundandari, where you can find the major wildlife, as you know, is tiger, and apart from this you can see some birds too. The birds are heavily migrated here. They'll come and stay there. Okay, so the next one we are going to discuss is, let us wait. Yes, Mundandari Wildlife Sanctuary we have discussed. It is located in Tirunelveli district. Okay. So the next one we are going to discuss is Anamalai Wildlife Sanctuary. It is also called as Indira Gandhi Wildlife Sanctuary. It is situated in Coimbatore. Okay. And the animals that you can see there is wild dogs and giant squirrels are seen here. See how big the squirrel is. Yes, you can see some giant squirrels there. And apart from this, you can also see some other animals like dhole, wild dogs are also seen in this. Okay, so the next one we are going to discuss is Vedandangal Bird Sanctuary. From this itself you can find that they are trying to preserve the birds, and it is the very old sanctuary in Tamil Nadu. It is located in the Kanchipuram district, and it also has many migratory birds like spoonbills, open-billed storks, pelicans are often found there, and that is a major part where birds migrate. Okay, so these are the sanctuaries that we have discussed today. Apart from this, there are many wildlife sanctuaries you can see. Okay, few I will tell them. Mehamalai Wildlife Sanctuary, it is in Teni. If you want to visit, you can go and visit. You will be very fascinated to see all those animals there. And another one is Vandalur Wildlife Sanctuary. It is in Chennai. And next one is Kalakad Wildlife Sanctuary. It is in Tirunelveli. And Giant Squirrel Wildlife Sanctuary. So this is meant for giant squirrel alone. So those are called Virudhunagar. Okay, so Virudhunagar Wildlife Sanctuary. So these are the some of the sanctuaries you can go and visit, which is nearby to us. Okay, students. Okay, so here let me stop and let us discuss what is the national parks and wildlife sanctuary. Okay, so still now we have learned what is the national park and wildlife sanctuary. Next we are going to discuss about the advantages of the conservation. Okay, so before discussing about the advantages of the conservation, let me stop here and let us discuss. So now let us learn the differentiation between these two. Yes, the national park and wildlife sanctuary. In the national park, it is strictly reserved for wildlife, and in this area you can see all the activities. In this area, activities like foresting, grazing, cultivation, so these are all not permitted. And the national park covers the area of how much? Yes, 100 to 500 kilometers, okay, square kilometers. So next one is national park. Next one is, that is what we have discussed in national park. The next one is wildlife sanctuary. It is protected area which is reserved for the conservation of animals only. Here you can harvest timber, collection of forest products, and private ownership is also, you can get it here. Okay, and mainly we can go and visit these places. So those are wildlife sanctuaries. Okay, now let us learn what is the advantage in conservation. Okay, shall we get into this topic, students? Yes. See, species can be adapted to their habitat. Likewise, when we have our home, we adapt to our home. We try to come back to our home wherever when we go out, so that the best place for us to be is in our home. Likewise, some species are adapted to their habitat. Okay, the next one is species can interact with each other. You can not only see the animals there, but also you can see, if you have a tiger there, obviously you should have some deer for there. So deer is a food for the tiger, so there might be some interaction or in that ecosystem. Okay, the next one is natural habitat of the animals is maintained. So there the animals are maintained in a proper order. Okay, and it is less expensive and easy to manage also. Okay, when you try to conserve them in a particular area that is already, it is a forest, then that is the right area for them. If you cannot keep them inside it, what happens is the leopards and the tiger tends to come inside the city. That you might have learned, one of the hottest news that we have learned during before the pandemic happened, the leopard chased in uh, Telangana, no? Likewise. Okay. So now let us move on to the prevention of cruelty to animals. Students, as you can see in this full lesson, there is a pattern there. First, you learned about the reproduction of animals. Second, you learned about the endangered species of the animals. And third, you learned about the parks and the wildlife sanctuary, that is the conservation of animals. See, first one is reproduction of animal, second one it was, can you guess? Yes, obviously you have learnt about the endangered species, and at last you are learning how to conserve the animals. Okay, so conservation in two different types you have learned. One is national park and another one is wildlife sanctuaries, and next one is you are learning the advantages of the conservation. So this is how it is, and at last we are learning how to stop the cruelty towards animals. Okay, so since we are very much selfish upon ourselves as a human, we are trying to neglect the animals sufferings and so on. But there are some private sectors that take care of it, as well as the government sectors take care of it. Okay, so we are going to discuss how can we prevent the cruelty from animals. Okay, so when I talk about the cruelty towards animals includes like capturing, trapping, poisoning of any wild animals. Have you heard the important news that we learned, that one of someone just gave a pineapple where they have put some bomb in it, and because of that elephant died. See, such kind of cruelty should be neglected or should be eradicated from the human minds and so on. There are many animal welfare organizations that take part in here with their concern of their health, safety and psychological wellness of animals. Okay, so this includes animal rescue groups which help them in distress. So these are the groups that we that take efforts, much effort. I'm not talking about the government sector, I'm talking about the private sectors. Okay, that they are taking in in order to save these animals. Okay, some so one thing I wanted to tell you, the important of this government organization. One of the government organization is Animal Welfare Board of India and National Institute of Animal Welfare are the two government organization which work for the welfare of animals. Okay, so there are some other wildlife welfare organization for animals too, that we will learn in detail. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to come up on is to learn about this organization. One of the organization is Blue Cross. You might have heard this in many movies. They can give it up as a joke. Okay, but this is the organization. This is also a private organization that take very much effort upon just bringing the welfare of these animals. Okay, so this welfare organization is called as Blue Cross. Blue Cross is a registered animal welfare charity in United Kingdom. So they have started in United Kingdom, and it was established in the year of 1897 with the visionary that every pet will enjoy a happy life in a happy home. So that is what they took upon their vision. And the charity providers supports are from whom, can you tell me? Yes, it is from the pet owners and some veterinary welfare associations too. Okay, so uh, uh, this main thing, what happens there, so they can afford a private veterinary treatment, and it helps to take unwanted animals. For example, if you have a snake at your home, it is inside your home, when you find that, what you will do, you will just call to your fire department and they will come and take that concerned animal. So what they will do after that, they will tend to move to the near wildlife sanctuaries or the national parks, and they will live there. So that is how it is. Okay, so you cannot think that they'll take upon and they'll go and do something that some cruelty to that animal. They don't do that. They will just take the animals from your home. For example, if you have a some animal that get inside, some porcupine get into your home, what you will do? Yes, obviously you will call the 911, you will call the fire department, and there they will come and take, and they will just relocate to a nearby shelters. Okay, so that is how it happens. So that is what this Blue Cross also does to them. Okay, so this educates this one educates the public in the responsibility of animal ownerships. Okay, so it doesn't leave you as at all. You have some activities in this association also. One of the activities is like providing shelter for these animals, adoption, and maintaining hospitals and mobile dispensaries. Ambulance services also provided by the Blue Cross. Okay, so as you can see, Blue Cross, I keep on talking about it. Blue Cross is in United Kingdoms. Okay, but one person took an initiative to get into India. Okay, that person is Captain Sundaram, and he's captain, and he's from Chennai, and he was an Indian pilot and the national welfare activist. Okay, so he founded this Blue Cross in India. So this is the captain. Can you see in the right corner, his picture is there with a small kitty there. Okay, so this is the association that helps mainly for the welfare of the animals like pets and so on. Okay, so it is in India, it is established in 1959. Okay, the main office is located in Gindi. Yes, students, so this is what we have discussed in today's video. Okay, now let us recap it from the beginning. So, from the beginning, we talked about the conservation of animals by, yes, by maintaining national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. And you also learned about the advantages of conservation, how you are giving a natural habitat to an animal, and the next one is the prevention of cruelty towards animals, how we should prevent them. And we also learned about a private welfare sector for animals, that is a Blue Cross. So you also learnt what kind of things that the Blue Cross does. Okay, so this is how we have discussed everything in today's class. Okay, students. So let me tell you a few things. You can have this as a project, but I will announce to you in the project also. So by this video, I will announce this. The your project for the next term. That is, this term will be the UNESCO. You have to learn about what is UNESCO, and you also have to give me some of the World Heritage sites of India by UNESCO. Okay, you have to give a detailed report about it, and you have to send it to me. So this will be your project of science. Okay, and your hidden questions, I hope you understood. What are the wildlife welfare association apart from the government? Any two association, you have to give it to me. So that is your hidden questions. Okay, students, thank you, and it is Monisha. Bye, students.